So let's be real. At this point, you've probably read a lot of financial books and tips, Googled how to budget, and probably watched a lot of YouTube videos at this point. But you're still overwhelmed, right? That's why in this video, I'm debunking 3 common money management tips that did not work for me so that you don't end up doing them too, and what I did instead to achieve my first million pesos. What's up guys, it's Nick. As you know, I'm a recovered shopaholic, now a money mindset coach, empowering Filipino professionals to fund their dreams into reality. The thing is, it's so easy to Google how to budget, how to save, how to manage my money better, and most of the time it's all the same money advice. But the thing was, it didn't work for me as someone who struggled with impulsive buying before, who felt overwhelmed that, oh, I always need to look for a side hustle, I always need to look for so many income streams so that I could finally call myself financially free. I need to know all of the investments. And the thing was, that wasted my time when I was trying to decode all of the money management tips and how it could apply to me, when in reality, there are so much easier and simpler ways to manage our money in a way that would allow us to fast track what we really want out of our life, and where we can use money as a tool to fund our dreams. So if you're all about that, then make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, because I do have a new video every single week. Now let's get into debunking those 3 tips. First and most controversial, but I don't care. Okay, if this sets someone free, at least one soul out there who watches my videos, this is for you. Striving for multiple income streams teaches you to handle money wrong. So let me clarify, there's nothing wrong about having multiple income streams if you can handle them all at the same time without feeling pressured, burnt out, and miserable because you're doing so many things at the same time. There's nothing wrong with it. The problem is when that becomes our goal, when we strive for multiple income streams as if it's the pot of gold that will give us everything that we need, that will solve all of our life problems and miseries that we're going through. Because what that does is it trains us to look as money as the goal, to keep earning more, spending more. And when you spend more, you're happier. Therefore, you just keep earning more to keep sustaining your lifestyle. And so what happens is you don't have a criteria, you don't have a benchmark on when will it finally be enough. When you have 2 income streams, you're like, it's not enough, I need 4. You get 4 income streams and then you're like, no, it's not enough. I still don't have enough savings. I'm still not able to go on that vacation. I'm still not able to have that peace of mind and work-life balance. Therefore, I need 6 income streams so that all of them will finally fix all of my problems when it comes to being a workaholic, being burnt out, hustling so much. But guess what? All of the problems that you had with 1 income stream, it's gonna be amplified when you have 2, when you have 3, when you have 4. Okay, that's what I didn't realize. I remember, okay, I was in denial before, which I always talk about. When I was in my corporate job for 6 years, I was in denial. I was a workaholic, even though my colleagues, my family told me that I was such a workaholic. I'm like, no, I have work-life balance. It's just that my job is demanding and I want to excel. But that was covering up the fact that I was tying my worthiness to how much I earned and how much I worked. Okay, so what happened was, when I had that belief that I need to work so hard to the point of exhaustion to feel deserving of my income, to feel deserving of a promotion, what happened was I thought, oh, if I start a business, it would be different. I will handle my time differently. I will work differently with more balance. No, that didn't happen. What happened was, when I first tried my first business venture, I just created my own corporate world in my own home. Okay, it was way worse actually, because I was trying to prove to myself that if you could work twice as hard in corporate, you could work thrice as hard in your own business and succeed at it because it's your own. Okay, that was the thoughts that I was having about this business. And so what happened was that na-amplify lang lalo yung pagiging workaholic ko when I started a different income stream. More income stream is not gonna fix the toxic thoughts and habits that you have around money. So what's the solution? We've been doing it backwards. we've been handling money backwards. We're thinking that, oh, once we get the money, then I can finally achieve everything that I've wanted in my life. I can finally spend on everything I want, buy everything I want, go on all the vacations that I want. But guys, I've been coaching so many clients who started earning 6 figures when they were earning so much less than that, quarter of that. When they started to earn multiple 6 figures in pesos, they thought that they wouldn't be guilty anymore for spending on themselves. They thought that they finally won't be anxious about having savings because now they do. Or they thought that they would finally be better at managing money because they have more contingency. But that was the mistake. If we start with thinking the goal is to constantly earn money without a criteria of when it will be enough, then it will be an endless cycle of striving for something that you don't know when you'll be successful at. So what I coach my clients with is start with, what do you really, really want out of life? What do you truly want? What are your life goals that bring you happiness, fulfillment, freedom? And then let's work backwards from there. How can your income stream, how can your money habits bridge that towards the life that you want? For instance, your goal is, I really want to go full-time in my business wherein it sustains me day to day without having a corporate job, that I could just focus on growing and scaling my business because that's my passion, that's what I love. That is the goal that we hone in on. That's what we focus on. And then from there, let's work backwards, okay? What would be your target monthly income? How could your corporate job right now be the bridge, the building block, so that you would have the funds, the business capital to scale your business, to go full-time, okay? So now, you're gonna have a clear criteria of, okay, I know that with this monthly income, it would be able to cover everything that I need to go full-time in my business. In short, you need to get really, really clear first on what you truly want out of your life. 6 months from now, 12 months from now, that would create a domino effect in the version of financial freedom that you want. And then from there, you work, okay, this is the life I want. How much income is enough for me to get that dream, to fund that dream, and which earning opportunity will take me there, rather than we take all of the opportunities, all of the side hustles, all of the income streams because we want to quote-unquote earn more, and then once we have it, we're like, how come it's not as satisfying or rewarding as I thought? That's why I love coaching my clients, to help them identify the right earning opportunity that is worth their time, that is not gonna derail them to a different direction, that's not gonna burn them out just because they need to earn money, but rather, what is the career path that would allow them to enjoy what they do, to feel passionate about what they do, to maintain a work-life balance, that they get to still enjoy life and not just focus so much on just earning and feeling burnt out at the end of the day. I share this, like one of my clients who recently graduated from my program, Jamie, and she is a great example of this. When she realized that from earning multiple jobs, like 3 to 4 jobs, she realized like I could just focus on one job that I'm actually passionate and that I love doing eventually, that will help me fund, my emergency fund much faster, that will help me fund that down payment for a house that I've always wanted. And the best part is she gets to maintain that work-life balance and still strive and thrive in the process. That is the power when you are crystal clear on what you truly want out of your career. So in short, what really worked for me, that created the right foundation of the right money habits that allowed me to achieve my first million, is that I focused on building an emergency fund and my freedom fund with one active income first with my corporate job, and then that's when I got the confidence of, okay, let me try to start a business and eventually go full-time there. The problem is when we think the other income streams as backup funds, when it should be our emergency fund that will serve as our backup emergency fund. The misconception that I also thought was like, oh, you need other income streams in case na mawalan ka ng trabaho yung main income stream mo. But the thing is, if ever that so happens, that's why you have an emergency fund. It will give you enough buffer to maybe look for another job, or maybe if you're in a business, it will give you enough time to look for your next client, for your next customer. That's why for me, I strongly believe that if you are able to build the right money habits, if you're able to save a solid emergency fund with your one active income first, when you add more income streams, you do them with purpose, with intention, with a clear purpose that is aligned with your life goals, and you don't do it out of lack, out of scarcity. So if you're curious about how I exactly coach my clients through this, you can check the link in my bio on my one-on-one coaching program, Fund Your Freedom. You can get inspired by the testimonials of my clients who was able to fund their dream career, where they have stopped that hamster wheel of constantly earning, and never feeling like it's enough. They've finally broken that cycle of financial stress, financial pressure, and now they have the clarity and confidence that they are on their path in funding the dreams that they've always wanted. So you can check the link in my bio if you're curious to learn how I coach my clients, because that may be you one day. Second money advice is that managing money is not about strong willpower or discipline. You know, as I got deep into my coaching training and understanding how our mind works, the science of the mind, the language of the mind, it just became clear for me why it was so hard for me to stuck to saving consistently before, is because I was relying on willpower, on discipline, thinking that kailangan ko na ng discipline, kailangan ko lang paluin yung sarili ko, paluin yung kamay ko, kapag bibili ako masyado, kailangan ko lang sabihin sa partner ko na hawakan ako ng mabuti pag nasa loob ng Watsons. That's a true story, by the way. I remember when I was in Watsons before, kailangan yung partner ko, he would hold my hand while I was walking in Watsons so that hindi ako masyadong mabaliw kung ano mga bibilin ko. So I thought that kailangan ko i-handcuff yung mga kamay ko to like a pole and throw away the key, so that I wouldn't spend on the wrong things. Thinking that I just need to control myself with a discipline and willpower, okay? But as you can tell, that's not sustainable. Because as I've shared before, is that willpower, making decisions about I need discipline, I need willpower, that's a conscious effort. And if it's a conscious effort, that's only 5% of our brain working. Conscious decisions, conscious effort of willpower, controlling myself, that's only 5% of your brain working. And now, doesn't it make so much more sense why it doesn't work when we keep forcing ourselves to control ourselves, to have discipline? It's not gonna work for the long run. So how habits are really formed, instilled, and like really ingrained in us, it happens at our subconscious level. And the subconscious level happens at 95% of our brain. Okay, so that means that we need to tap into our subconscious mind to instill the habits subconsciously if we want it to work for the long run. So you're like, Nick, how do I do that? Your subconscious mind holds the values, beliefs, experiences, memories that you have around money that you grew up with. From the moment that, let's say, you were 7 years old, we really absorb all of the information like sponges when you're 7 years old. For instance, if you were 7 years old and you heard your parents always fighting about money, and because of that, you were never taught how to handle money right. And so you grew up thinking that money is just too complicated. Money makes you do bad things because that's how you grew up. Or let's say I've seen like with breadwinners, when they take the early responsibility of earning for their family, growing up, they don't ever feel like they deserve to enjoy now, because when they enjoy, they feel like they're gonna sacrifice their survival, their security, and that they won't be able to create a better life for their family. Like all these things are happening subconsciously that are creating the habits that you have right now. And that's why it's 95% of our brain power. And the problem is if we don't bring them out of the surface, if we don't confront them, because we're like, wala lang yun, kasi ganun talaga eh, obligation ko talaga eh, or ganun talaga eh, kasi hindi marunong yung parents ko, they never taught me about money, so wala, geto na talaga ako, wala kasi akong guidance eh, wala kasi yung nagturo sa akin, kaya wala na, no choice, this is it, this is how I'm really gonna handle money for the rest of my life, hopeless case na talaga ako. When we think of it that way, when we don't allow ourselves to talk to someone about these kinds of thoughts, these toxic thoughts, then your brain thinks of them as a fact. Your brain's like, oh, tama nga, that's exactly how money is. When you don't talk to someone about those kinds of thoughts, they become a fact in your mind. Therefore, affect how you manage money. That's why my clients are so surprised and relieved that when they just start opening up about these thoughts, these beliefs that they grew up with, and allow themselves to reframe it at the subconscious level through our coaching sessions, they realize that they feel so much lighter. They can finally let go of the negative emotions that they surrounded, thinking about money, handling money. They can finally let go of that and feel that they can 100% trust themselves again to make better decisions. Because here's the problem: when we constantly accept that money is just taboo, I can't talk about it, what happens is your brain is gonna be like, oh, you don't talk about it, so it means it's not that important to you. Oh, you're not able to talk to someone about the money problems that you have. Oh, then you will never find a solution for it because you don't acknowledge it as a problem. You are in denial. And what do? We mask it with, I just don't have discipline. I just don't have willpower. I just can't control myself and my emotions. That's how we've been masking managing money. And I can tell you, from being a recovered shopaholic and coaching so many clients now, that it's not about lacking willpower, lacking discipline. It's something much, much, much deeper underneath the surface that we need to bring up to the surface and confront and accept and forgive ourselves. That's why I keep talking about when we unlearn these limiting beliefs and toxic thoughts around money. That's when our mindset shifts into like, oh, now you can trust yourself. Now you can make better decisions now because you have solved it from the root problem at a subconscious level, at the using the 95% of our brain power. You can actually learn more about this in my free 60-minute training where I dive into the science around it a lot more and how it really freed me to reframe the toxic thoughts that I had around money before and instill better money habits that allowed me to be where I am today and achieve my first million and fund my dreams today. So make sure you watch that free 60-minute training because you are gonna take a lot of mind-blowing realizations that could really take you to that first step that you needed to make your money habits better. Third money advice that's going to free you from so much overwhelm, because it did for my clients, is that forget about multiple bank accounts, multiple credit cards, and daily expense tracking. My clients are so surprised when I share with them my simplified financial system on autopilot inside my one-on-one coaching program, that I only look at my financial system twice a month and it just takes me 15 minutes in those days. So basically, I just spend maybe mga 30 minutes in a month monitoring my finances, and that is it. Because guess what? That will free up more time for us to do more of what we love, to enjoy our weekends, to do more hobbies, to spend more time with our family instead of us spending half a day frustrated with our finances and dreading to pay the bills because it's gonna take us so much hours reflecting back on the things we shouldn't have purchased, or every single purchase that we need to jot down. I love what my clients shared, like after our session when we really simplified everything in her financial system, is that, Coach, thank you for being the Marie Kondo of my finances. And I love it so much that I had to post it in my Instagram story. And I take that as a compliment, that sometimes we really might overcomplicate how our finances should be done. And guess what? There are so many multiple ways to manage our money. I've seen people who have multiple bank accounts and multiple cards and multiple, stuff in their wallet, and it works for them. But how I want to do it is I want to keep it as simple as possible because I want to spend more time in other things that excite me, that matter to me. So just remember that the best financial system is the one that you stick to consistently. If you're not sticking to it consistently, if it's taking you hours and it's frustrating you so hard, maybe there's something else that you need to look into. Because I promise you, there's a simpler way of doing a financial system. Because literally, like what my client said, is that she used to spend half a day on a Saturday paying her bills, making sure that everything is on track, making sure that she monitors every single thing, and it was reduced to 15 minutes in her day when I coached her in creating a tailor-fit financial system, that every single time that we talk about it, she's like, grabe, Coach, I'm so excited to do it. I can see now, like, sobrang bilis ng ng mga targets ko na mangyari. I am so excited that I get to fast track these dreams for my life. And that's the power of keeping things simple with your financial system. Because if it's not doing that, then what's the point? Right? Think of what is your end goal, because I'm telling you, the end goal is not to collect all these banks, all these bank accounts, all these cards, and feeling proud that you have every single, transportation expense that you logged in there. That's not the end goal. The end goal is for you to feel confident, at ease, and at peace, that you are handling your finances with confidence so that you could spend more time in doing things that you love. So if you want more tips from me and debunking overwhelming advice that you may have heard before, then you can check out this video on how I was able to achieve my version of financial freedom, starting with one income stream. I feel like you're gonna take a lot from that video, so I'll see you there.